Hey, everybody. This week on Up Your Alley, we've got two great recommendations. First, my recommendation for Jake, the new HBO Max original film, Mountainhead. And Jake's recommendation for me, rather, the YouTube stand-up special, Brent Weinbach's Popular Culture. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Sony's new State of Play. And, Jake, it's all a cool indie movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because we've been forgetting for like the past 2 weeks. Like and subscribe. It's a Jake's House podcast.
What's up, buddy?
Super laid back. So I feel like my voice might be coming in a little harsh because I forgot one of the little poofs.
Yeah.
Jake's got a poof. I do not.
Yeah, you're going to hear
one of the little windscreens. So I'm going to be careful with my enunciation. Welcome, everybody, to Up Your Alley. If it's your first time listening to the show, thank you for joining us. My name is Taylor Edgar. With me, as always, is Jake Baggett. Say hi, Jake.
Just try not to say so many P's.
All right, I'll do my best. Now I'm thinking about it. It's going to throw me off.
Yep.
Here's how it works. We've been friends for like 20 years. We've always recommended each other things. Now we have an excuse to make the other person watch, read, or listen to, or play whatever that thing may be. This week, again, I had Jake watch the HBO movie Mountainhead with Steve Carell, Rami Youssef, Jason Schwartzman, a bunch of other people in it. And Jake had me watch the stand-up special from Brent Weinbach called Public Relations.
Mm-hmm.
That's out on YouTube. Now, Jake, how you doing, bud?
Man, all's well.
All is well?
No complaints over here, man.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's a little hazy. It's hot.
Yeah.
Haze from the Canadian wildfires,
I
I'm
had
told.
no idea that was happening.
Yeah, man. If you're up in Canada, hope you're not on fire.
Yeah, I hope you're okay.
Thanks for sending haze. It's getting hot. It's June heat, finally. Speaking of hot June heat.
Yeah.
Try
it.
Today, the Switch 2 came out.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's true. You picked one up. You said that Target had a lot of them there.
Target, they had a good bit.
Yeah.
So I walked into Target. I had to drop my mom off at the airport first thing this morning. On the way home, I had to get stuff from BJ's Wholesale. They weren't open. Went into Target, and I was just like, I wonder if they have any switches. And there were a bunch of switches behind, like, in one of those, like, rolly cages. You know what I mean? Like for product. And there was, like, 15 Target dudes hanging out there. And I figured they were all the pre-orders. And
Armed guards?
I mean, they had vests. So, no, they were not armed at all. They were all in vests.
Mm.
Get the joke?
No.
Because
you don't need arms.
Yeah.
Wear a vest.
That was a better joke than you acted.
Well, because I was like...
I understand.
Laugh at my thing.
Listen. Regardless. So there was a bunch of dudes there, and I was like, hey, are those all the pre-orders? And they're like, no, these are just like up for grabs.
Beautiful.
And I was like, okay, let me get one.
Well, there you go.
Haven't unboxed it yet. Haven't played anything. Mario Kart's getting middling reviews. Everyone says that so apparently the open world that they sold everyone on in Mario Kart Grand Tour, whatever the hell it's called, it's the physics on it are just like the race. So if you're not on a road, it's comically slow how fast you travel.
Really?
Yeah. So the open world
seems a bit of an oversight when the whole thing is to drive around freely and find little
exactly.
secrets.
But for most of the world, you go really, really slow, and it's really everyone from the reviews that I've seen. It's like, yeah, there are secrets, but they're not that fun to find. Like it's not like there's no real sense of adventure, but the racing's cool. And I was talking to a couple people about it, and they're like, well, there's a new Smash Brothers. I'm like, no, there's not. It's like, is there a new Zelda? No. It's like, what about that Donkey Kong game? You brought up Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not out till next month.
Wow.
So it's like, all right.
Yeah.
Crushing it, Nintendo. But there were some there. So it's like...
I'm interested. I really am. But I want to hear a game that I actually really want to play.
Yeah, I just remember when the Switch 1 came out. I got Switch 1 and booted up Super Mario Odyssey. And I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
This is everything I want. This is Nintendo magic.
Yeah, this is the funnest one I've played of a Mario game in a long-ass time.
It's hands down my favorite 3D Mario. It might be my favorite Mario.
I really enjoyed Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS.
Yeah. I played that for Switch when it came out.
And I thought the new adventures were really good, and I thought the 2D ones were fun, but I think this one Odyssey blew it out of the water. And I was like, Switch is awesome. And also, Switch came with the gimmick first, where you could play it on the big screen or take it with you. Mm-hmm. That gimmick is gone now, taken by the Switch.
Pretty much everything does it.
Yeah.
And also, like, the Steam Deck does it, but with better games.
It was just a bigger library.
Right. Well, I mean, and also, you can
probably get your Switch.
You can't play God of War Ragnarok on a Switch.
Right.
Yeah, but you can play it on Steam Deck. Regardless, so we'll have Switch updates in the future, but it just feels like it kind of came out and it's just like, huh. But to kind of preempt the launch of the Switch, yesterday was PlayStation's State of Play.
Yeah.
It wasn't a part of State of Play, but I did text you. Did you watch that Witcher 4 thing?
No, I did not.
So Witcher 4 did a thing that wasn't really Witcher 4. It was just done by Unreal. So it was like an Unreal 5 tech demo where they were showing you Witcher 4 at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're saying like, well, here's what Ciri's doing, and here's her horse, and yada, yada, yada. And the horse's name is Kelpie, which is cute because that's a demon horse from mythology, which is adorable.
Should have done a different term of roach.
Cucaracha?
Roach is the name.
For some reason, the horse is Spanish. The Witcher's like Polish or something like that.
Yeah.
But it looks gorgeous.
Good.
Everyone is saying that this looks so good. Looks like, a worthy successor to The Witcher 3. The people that aren't saying, why do we got to play as a girl? She wouldn't be able to fight monsters. And those people suck and shouldn't be listened to. But
you gave them voice.
Yeah.
There's literally 1 in 500 people. They're just louder.
I know, but
That's
I'm just pointing out that those people are wrong.
Yeah.
But everyone's saying that it looks like that.
It's a bully doing the I'm not touching you thing.
Those are
They're just
worst.
bullies.
Yeah.
There's just like
We both have older brothers. We know what that's like.
they're just waiting for you to acknowledge them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they say stupid shit.
Yeah.
They don't believe it. They don't believe anything. They've foregone a personality because
This is easier to develop as a personality.
yeah.
Yeah. But again, I famously could not get into The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Any of the times that I've played
Interesting that you would watch the tech demo.
it popped up in my feed, and I was like, I'll see what this is about.
Right.
It looks gorgeous. Like, I'm not going to lie about that. But I will say this. I texted you that I had a mea culpa for when I was wrong about something. A game that I've been playing before we get into PlayStation. Well, kind of tangential to the PlayStation 1. I have booted up since you sent me the redone theme song for Snake Eater.
Yeah.
Which the trailer for that was also announced or shown at State of Play. I booted up and gave a fair shake to Metal Gear Solid 5.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That game rules.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
It might be my second favorite Metal Gear Solid game.
Wow. That's big words.
And I think here's the reason why I didn't get into it. Whenever it came out, it was at a point in my video gaming where I wasn't really gaming for fun. If that makes sense. I was gaming to just like decompress. Like I was working and I would like come home, have a couple drinks, and play video games until I was tired.
Okay.
And that game is very detail oriented, and you have to like be paying attention and plan things out a lot more, which I just did not have the brain space for.
I hear you.
After I just bartended until 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it's a very different style of gameplay.
So now when I sit down and play games where I'm like, hey, I have a couple free hours in an afternoon, sit down and play a game. Metal Gear Solid 5, outstanding. It's so fun how you can just pick it up and play it. And I think I probably only gave maybe 4 hours into it ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I played Ground Zeroes and then get into it. But holy shit, I was so wrong about Metal Gear Solid 5. And now super duper excited for Metal Gear Solid 3.
It doesn't play like 5, though.
It doesn't matter. I'm just back in the Metal Gear mindset.
Oh, I see.
But since Metal Gear Solid 3 is my favorite one, I officially like Big Boss more than I like Solid Snake now.
Big Boss is, it's really hard to
He's
not
so
say
cool.
that he's
I'm sitting there.
wonderful.
I was getting done playing yesterday, and they started playing Snake Eater over my base's loudspeakers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just sitting there with my dog, and I'm like, the dog in the video game and my dog in real life. And I'm like, this is a good game. And I was waiting for like the Hideo Kojima-ness of it. I was like, this is pretty like, tactical and like a lot of this. I was like, I don't see a bunch of the weird Kojima stuff. They're like, you have to find this sniper. And she's just a lady in a bikini. Mm-hmm. And I was like, there's Kojima. Like, there's him just pointing out everything.
You don't remember the controversy around this?
Nah.
Because
I really didn't know much of the discourse about this game.
She's wearing a bikini, right? She's very scantily clad.
Uh-huh.
And everybody was like,
and doesn't talk.
They're like, this is like very servicey Kojima. I don't think we needed this woman to be dressed like this. And he responded with, you will regret your words and your deeds when you find out why she's wearing a bikini. And then we found out why.
Yeah.
And it's because she is photosynthetic. That's how she gets her food.
Huh.
So she needs to show skin. The problem is Metal Gear Solid 3 with the end. He's photosynthetic as well.
Yeah, the old man sniper.
He's wearing a ghillie suit.
Yes.
Famously. So he kind of like...
Kojima's a rascal.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. 100%.
If you want to do a scantily clad lady, by all means,
but
do it.
That's just the Kojima showing through. You're just like, oh yeah, there he is. There's
I would say story-wise, it's my least favorite.
I like how it's the pick up and play. Like you could just
gameplay-wise,
do a mission.
It's probably the second best playing one.
Because you like the handheld ones.
I love them all. I love every single.
I haven't
Metal Gear
played Peace Walker or
Peace Walker is, as far as story goes, it's right after 3 as being like fantastic story.
That's more of like building up a base and doing individual missions as opposed to like one big overarching story.
There is a big overarching story.
But there are just like levels ish.
Yeah, you choose missions and you go out.
Yeah, it's just like 5. So yeah, I love it. Can't speak highly enough about it.
Yeah,
got a horse that has a face mask. That's rad.
D horse.
Yeah, D horse and D dog.
Mm-hmm. D stands for diamond.
Mm-hmm. And they play David Bowie, and they're called the Diamond Dogs.
Yeah.
That's something that a 6-year-old would come up with, but it's great. So that goes into the PlayStation State of Play, where they showed the another bit of Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, or just Metal Gear Solid Delta, and they showed at the end that they're bringing back the Ape Escape.
I'm pretty sure they already said that they were doing that.
But then they show Snake with the active camo from Metal Gear Solid 4, and they say more bonus modes to come. So that's like a nice little tease. Probably going to be some VR missions. Who knows what else?
You mean virtual reality, as in we need the PlayStation 5 virtual reality headset to enjoy them?
No. Like the VR missions,
or
like
do you mean the VR missions?
VR missions like Metal Gear Solid
Metal Gear
Subsistence
Solid.
and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember there was one where there was just a gigantic bad guy? I think it was 2.
You're just thinking it was VR missions.
Yeah.
It was just a standalone game called VR missions. One of the missions was you blew up a enemy that was
but he
kaiju
had like
size.
Godzilla spikes on the back of him, and he was kaiju size. It was
gigantic. Yeah.
It was fantastic. Like I'd love more nonsense like that.
Peace Walker had Monster Hunter missions in it.
Really?
Yep. So you would fight tanks and stuff, and then you would fight the weird big dinosaur lizards from Monster Hunter.
More of that
as well.
Bring up some weird stuff. I'm all for it. After this
is what I've been about since the get-go, buddy.
That's why I want to tell you. I'm late to this because something we've talked about so many times on this podcast. I wasn't playing games the way they were supposed to be played. I was playing them the way I wanted to play.
I'm just going to pat myself on the back about
this
stuff.
You absolutely should. I'm sitting here playing Metal Gear Solid 5, loving every minute of it.
Metal Gear Solid 5 plays so well. It's scouting is one of my favorite things to do. Actually, enacting your missions is one of my favorite things to do. That game I wish you could have your helicopter a little more accessible to where you can drop it.
Yeah.
But that's like a nitpick, I suppose.
Yeah. I just got to Africa yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this rules.
Yeah.
And I love how there's the option of, if you want to plan your loadout and everything where you just run in with a big gun, you can do that too. But you need to plan that out ahead of time.
Did you do the mission with the honeybee or whatever it's called?
Yeah, that sucks.
Oh, I love it. That's one of the funniest ones because they were like, don't shoot it because we need the technology so that we can make it. And then you're doing it. And then the scary ghost
the cipher people,
enemies come out. And Miller's like, shoot them with the missiles. don't think about it.
And then afterwards, he's just like, wish we could have saved some of that ammunition.
It's like, you shoot them at all. I ran away.
So, no, I shot every one of them. Couple other big announcements. Mortal Kombat has a Legacy collection. Sure. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, if that's $20.
It's cool that you can play it online.
Yeah.
And Metal Gear Solid 4, people are going to be able to enjoy how crazy and silly that game is.
Yeah.
That game has got some of the funniest stories.
You mean Mortal Kombat 4?
Yeah. I said Metal Gear Solid 4.
You did.
Metal
Gear Solid 4 has some crazy stories, too.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Look
What's
at
up,
her.
kitty cat?
My cat's coming up to Taylor.
Because I smell like a cat now.
She's smelling you.
I'm also
she's a little recoiled.
I'm also a catman.
She is a sweetheart, but she is a very scary cat.
Other big announcements along the vein of fighting games. Marvel Tokon.
Yep.
It's 4v4 side-scrolling fighting game.
I'm sure
it looks like Marvel vs. Capcom minus Capcom.
Yep.
And that plays into big announcement from PlayStation where they were announcing for a while there's been rumors of Sony having something called Project Defiant, and it was under wraps, and everyone was like, what is Project Defiant? And then they're like, here's finally Project Defiant, and it's just the first fighting stick from PlayStation.
Yeah, they got a fight stick now.
I've never been a big fan of those. If we're playing...
We don't play fighting games. So.
If we're playing the Simpsons arcade game, sure. Then I will use one of those joysticks.
Yeah, I've never found it necessary, but
no.
There's a market for it, I'm sure.
I guess so, but it was just kind of a letdown because I had seen things on Reddit. They're like, what do you think Project Defiant is? And it's like, oh, it's just a joystick.
You didn't bring up my two favorite yet that I was
Go for it. I'm not done.
I had...
was it Silent Hill F?
No. My big ones were Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yes.
Is announcing a sequel.
You love a tactic.
Tactic Advanced is a fantastic game. War of the Lions is a great game. And then whatever this one's called, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited for that. Final Fantasy Tactics is a great-ass game franchise. To have another one is very exciting. And then Suda51 announced his next game. Romeo is a dead man.
No idea what that was. Looked pretty cool.
Looks awesome.
Looked like crazy anime nonsense.
That's
like
what
video
I love.
games that you love. Yeah.
Yep.
There's a new Thief VR game.
Nah.
Sure.
It looks like it's based off of the property, the new Thief that they made, and that game just wasn't that fun.
Yeah. And I think another one of the big first looks was the new 007 game.
Yeah, I'm so into that.
007 First Light. So taking a bit of a detour, this is more like the Hitman series of games.
It's a smart move.
Where you're actually being 007 and doing like spy stuff.
That's a smart move to give it to IO.
If this is where the franchise is going, where 007 does more spy shit, I'm all for it.
This is it. I want that more than anything. We need you in here, 007. You need to find a sticky wicket within the biscuit. And then you just
how do you know all these code words already?
Stuff. Dude, I watch a lot of James Bond.
Clearly, you know about the sticky wicket and the biscuit,
and then you just solve it yourself how you want to do it,
how
you want to cover it up. It sounds like Hitman with more steps, so you don't just try and kill people. You actually objective-based missions. Mm-hmm. It's going to be awesome. That's a great idea.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. I love James Bond. Obviously, like just going back to GoldenEye.
Right.
But do you remember, did you ever play Mission Impossible for the N64?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's more like a Mission Impossible game than it is
right.
A GoldenEye.
And it's going to be more open.
Did they say
gameplay?
Who's playing James Bond? Is it a famous person?
No, it just looks like a generic dude.
Well, like it's not a famous video game person.
I don't know.
I didn't see.
More
levels come from Astrobot.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One of the greatest games ever made. Speaking of video game people, did you watch that Tosh interview that I sent you?
No.
With Maggie Robertson, who plays Lady, what's her name in Resident Evil 7? Big, giant, angry lady.
Lady Demiscu?
Yeah. So she's talking about that and how horrible, basically, it is to be a video game actor. They're like, oh, yeah, I was in God of War Ragnarok. I got paid $1,000, and there are no residuals.
Yeah.
And then she brought up that SAG-AFTRA video game is still on strike.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
They should be making more money, especially
Absolutely.
because I've never played Resident Evil 7. Her character is the only thing I know about Resident Evil 7, that there's a big giant lady that everyone on Reddit had a boner for.
Resident Evil 7 is a very good game.
I'm sure it is, but that's all I know about it.
That's why a lot of celebrities are getting into voiceover work, is because they're not a part of that union.
Because they're not SAG-AFTRA video game.
Yes.
So like Kiefer Sutherland's big boss all of a sudden?
I think that was just Hideo Kojima being like, you could tell me I can get a Hollywood performer in here.
Yeah. David Hayter still does a better job.
David Hayter is Solid Snake.
I did notice Big Boss is a lot more quiet in these games. It's a lot of Miller and Ocelot yelling at each other.
Venom doesn't really talk,
Yeah.
And you got to play the game, find the story, which I didn't think was that great, but it makes sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Kojima, we got a little bit more of a look at Death Stranding 2.
Yes,
sure.
Very true.
Put on a package in a baby tank.
I
and
love
walk
Death
across
Stranding.
The world.
It's just the most frustrating experience I've ever had.
Yeah.
I'm in the zone for like 4 hours. I'm having a great time walking around. Then I fall down a river and all my packages float away. And I'm like, I can't come back to this for 4 months.
Such is life.
Yeah.
Just your
I
packages.
should have just got back up and just went to the guys and be like, look, I lost everything. I'm sorry. We have to start over.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, PlayStation. More excited about that than the Switch.
Sure.
Ghost of Yotei, still my most anticipated game this year.
Final Fantasy Tactics, man, that's awesome.
Well, that's not this year.
Yeah, I think it is.
Is it?
I thought they said that it was.
Well, then I'm still Ghost of Yotei.
But yeah, I agree. I want to play Ghost of Yotei.
Moving on.
Yeah.
We've meant to talk about this for like 2 weeks now, and we keep forgetting.
Yeah.
You went and saw a horror movie.
Yeah, sorry, Bloodspawn.
Yeah.
Bloodspawn. I went and they had a
horror movie shot locally.
Yeah, a horror movie that was shot in Loudoun County, which is like not even that far away from us.
No, I go to Loudoun. I was in Loudoun County this morning, dropping people off at the airport.
Right.
Yeah.
And they shot a movie, and they had it showed at the Alamo Draft House in Winchester.
So what's the spoiler-free pitch? And also, can people watch it? Like, is it on streaming or?
It's called Bloodspawn. I don't think you can watch it yet, but the more people talk about it, the more digital streamers will want to pick it up.
The more we start just mentioning Bloodspawn daily.
Yeah, if you just get Bloodspawn in out there being like, we want Bloodspawn, then they'll do it. I'm sure.
Right on.
But it's when I gave it a review, I said if Sci-Fi Channel was still a thing, it would be at home with those movies and still be a standout.
Huh.
For it's very stupid and revels in it, but it's very sincere with how hard it tries to make a good movie.
So just nice kind of gross horror.
Kind of not really that gross, just very silly. It takes place during the Civil War.
Love it. I mean, don't love it, but
love it.
It's interesting.
It's
like when they did Native American Predator. You're like, that's new.
Yeah.
That's not something I've seen 100,000 times.
Some people start getting chased by this Native American dragon that has been awoken from all the bloodshed from the Civil War.
Dope.
And these people got to find out how to stop it, and it's a lot of fun.
Did they shoot it at any of the battlefields?
No. They just shot it really in the woods, like a whole lot of the woods.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
And it's pretty.
Could be Battle of the Wilderness. That was a thing. Antietam's up near there.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it was just really fun, very silly, and
yeah, I just looked. It doesn't look like Just Watch says it's not available to stream anywhere.
It shows its budget, but you could tell that it had a unique idea.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. I mean,
One
we
of the
said that about the most recent Hellboy that we watched.
Yeah.
It's like it shows that it's low budget, but it's a good movie still.
The thing, because the directors were there, and I got to talk to them afterwards.
Love it.
And we talked about the dragon that they used. They used a puppet instead of like CGI.
Like a hand puppet or like a big puppet?
Like a miniature.
Nice.
And just like composited it in there.
Love it.
And it was like, so how did you guys decide to come up with that idea? And they're like, honestly, we were shooting it and we didn't know what we were going to do for this until one of the actors was like, you know what, it would be funny. It would be great if you guys made your own miniatures.
That's awesome.
Just did that. They're like, that's a great idea.
Love
and
the
it was.
DIY nature.
It was wonderful. It was a great movie. I had a great time with it. I gave it 2.5 stars because I think that's
out of what?
Out of 5.
Oh.
On Letterboxd, because I think it's worth a watch with a bunch of friends. It's one of those types of movies.
I don't know how Letterboxd stars work.
5 is good.
Well, I mean, I get that part, but I don't know like what 2.5 means.
2.5 to me means it's a fine movie.
Uh-huh.
What makes it fun is if you gather some friends around, get 4 or 5 of your buddies to sit down and watch a silly movie. This movie's gonna knock it out of the park. You're gonna be like, this is very silly.
Yeah, Bloodspawn. If we find out that it's when it comes to streaming somewhere, when someone picks it up or you can watch it, we'll make a note to bring it up again.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, Bloodspawn. So, moving on, let's talk about my recommendation first.
Okay.
The 2025 film Mountainhead.
Yeah.
Available. It's a Max original. I got to pull up the stuff for it. Oh, there was a trailer for Wicked. Did you watch that?
No.
Wicked for good.
I mean, I watched Wicked Part 1, but I didn't watch no.
It'll come out. It'll make $1 billion, and people will be disappointed because there's not much story left, and I don't know how they're going to drag this one out for another 2.5 hours.
I liked the first one.
I know, but that was longer than the whole musical, and now there's the second act left, which is shorter than the first act.
They got enough good faith out of me that I will watch this.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying it's going to be.
You're just curious on how they're going to do it.
Exactly. I will go see it, and I am curious as to how it's going to be done. So, Mountainhead stars Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman, Corey Michael Smith, and Rami Youssef. They're all broligarch tech billionaires ripped from the headlines. This is directed and written by Jesse Armstrong, probably best known as the creator for Succession. Yeah. So the elevator pitch for this movie is there's a tech bro retreat at the top of Jason Schwartzman's mountain house. And while they're there, the world starts to go to shit. And it's over the course of like a couple days. And it's all these ridiculously wealthy people trying to figure out what to do when the world's going to shit. I wanted to share with Jake something, a conversation I had with a listener of the show. So after I recommended this to Jake last week, I mentioned to Jake, hey, I haven't seen this yet. It comes out on Saturday. We recorded on Thursday. And I was interested in it. Yep. And then a listener of the show came up to me and was like, hey, have you watched Mountainhead yet? And I was like, oh, no. Did you like it? And he said, yeah, I liked it. You're going to like it. And then I got halfway through watching Mountainhead, and my exact text to him was, oh, Jake's going to fucking hate Mountainhead. And he replied with, totally.
Yeah.
So if this was on Letterboxd, I think Jake's giving this half a star.
If this was on Letterboxd, no, because I don't want to use that for this one. We'll use ours.
What's half a star on Letterboxd?
It's up to you. It's your... You have 5 stars. You do with it as you
please.
please.
No, what have you given half a star to?
Nothing. Mac and Devin Go to High School.
I don't know what that is.
It's Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa's movie.
Ooh.
About them being in high school.
Did they play
smoking weed. Yeah, they're in it.
But they don't play the high schoolers.
Yes, they play the high schoolers.
Oh.
Yes, Snoop Dogg has been held back a few years. That's why he's in high school.
Clearly.
It's god-awful.
It sounds awful.
It's awful.
Is it just trying to be like How High? Because How High was a funny movie.
How High is a fun movie with a great premise.
Meth and Red.
But this movie is just, it's too scattershot. It doesn't, the idea is, what if Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa were in high school? And then that's the end. Rather than what if, because it's like, what if Method Man and Redman went to Harvard.
Yeah.
And you just stop there. It's like, they didn't stop there. It's like, and their best friend, who's an egghead, dies and they smoke his ashes, and so they get super smart. This is where the story's starting.
So there's nothing like that.
There's nothing
Mac
like
and Devin
that.
Go to High School.
Yeah, other than like they started smoking weed and they really like it, and it's just
to be fair.
It's just terrible. It's a terrible
Speaking of pothead movies, Dogma's back out in theaters for 1 week.
I did see that, yes.
And I can't find it playing anywhere. I think the closest place I saw was like Silver Spring, Maryland.
That's sad. Yeah.
It's about when it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm going to buy it.
Absolutely.
When the re-release. So
this movie was a
chore,
horrid sludge.
Yeah.
Walk through the first 45 minutes of it. Just awful.
Yeah.
I couldn't pay attention to any of it.
The people are okay. So I can come at this from a critical review as well because I hadn't seen it beforehand. Yeah. I did want to talk about it though.
I am going to spoil it, by the way.
Oh yeah, complete spoilers for this. It's on Max.
I'm going to spoil
here's
it.
the deal. If Jake recommended this to me, I'd give it a soft 2.
If I were to grade it right now before I went into it, I would give it a 2.
You would?
Yes.
I was thinking it was hard 1.
It was a 1 up until
Act
one
3.
thing where Steve Carell goes, "What if we just think about killing Jeff?"
Yes. So Steve Carell,
like, oh my God, something's happening. Oh my God, there's a story here.
The 4 guys, Corey Michael Smith, who I love and I think is highly underutilized. I talked about him since the Saturday Night episode.
Yeah.
Everything that he's in, he's great. He was the best Riddler there's ever been on camera. He is, so the real world kind of counterparts for these guys, just so people can get in their heads. Steve Carell is a cross between Peter Thiel and Steve Jobs. Like, he's an older guy. He's got cancer. He's refusing treatment and says he's going to find a way to beat it, whatever. But he's also kind of this Peter Thiel character where he's an older mentor for these younger startup guys. And he's also a big piece of shit.
First time I got a laugh out of this movie was Steve Carell when Jeff was talking to him and being like, what if you just, stepped away for a while, like 5 years, like Jobs did? And he just goes, Steven.
Yeah. Small things like that are great. Corey Michael Smith's character is like half Zuckerberg, half Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And he runs a garbage social media site that the impetus of the world going to shit in this movie is he releases a super realistic AI tool, and it immediately gets started to be used for spreading hate and like starting sectarian violence between other countries in the world, and be like, well, this is in Pakistan, and they're showing these people doing this. And then they look at it, they're like, ha, but people know it's fake, right? And they clearly don't know it's fake because people are dying.
Yeah.
Schwartzman's kind of, I couldn't really pin down who he was based on.
I have no clue.
He's the brokest one of the group. I think they bring up he only has like $500 million.
Yeah, he's Soup Kitchen is
right.
his name.
Because he only has $500 million.
Yeah.
And Rami Youssef is kind of the idealist. He's like if Sam Altman wasn't a bag of shit sometimes.
It's impossible to get that much money.
You're
and
right.
That's what they're saying with the movie. And it took the movie like 50 minutes to get to a point where you're like, these are the people that we're dealing with.
Right. But Rami Youssef, he's portrayed as like, he might be a good person.
He makes
an
like,
AI that can detect AI.
Well, I would say he makes like $20 billion in an afternoon there. Based off of these horrific atrocities that are happening. And he starts being like, I don't really feel good about this. You know, he's like, it feels bad that I'm making so much money off of this. And everybody's telling him, shut up, you're fine, and it's good. And like, you're supposed to be like, you know, starting to relate to him. But it's not until later in the movie where the movie's like, no, you don't relate to him. He is a piece of shit as well. All these people are pieces of shit. Every single one of them. And that's when I'm like, this is a fine... the movie, it sucks, is what I would say. But if you can stick through it, it does get good.
Because it takes a turn.
Yes.
You're absolutely right. It's not even 45 minutes in. It's like an hour plus into a 2-hour movie.
I was so mad watching this. I was so mad.
Because I think the first part that, you know, I was kind of getting... Because I watched this in 2 parts. I probably watched like the first hour 15 until that turn happens.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm going to finish this later.
Yeah.
And actually, because now I'm actually invested in this.
Yeah.
Because for the first part, I feel like there's that fine line of being a satire and actually being satirical and not just like failing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nailing the satire. And I feel like the first part of it wasn't nailing the satire.
It didn't even feel like it was trying. It felt like an NPR sketch.
Right.
It was just people talking nonstop, and you're supposed to know that they're saying the wrong thing because they're saying it. Oh, look at me, I'm making $200 billion. That's not how a head explodes. And you're like, I don't know what any of this means. It's like, what if so they start seeing the government going down globally, and they're like, what if we just take over Argentina?
Right.
Like, what does that mean?
Well,
What are you
who's going to be in charge
about?
of Argentina? Well, I'll do it for now.
And you're like, what does that mean? What are you talking about?
So I think where that fails is it's very much like Succession. But the thing is, Succession, when it was doing that, we had 2 to 3 seasons to get to know these characters. And we're like, oh, he's fucked up. He just thinks that way.
Yeah, that's what I was confused.
You don't get that. And you're like, is this supposed to be a joke that Steve Carell's like,
yes.
Well, obviously, you know, I'll talk to the president. What's he going to do?
Yeah.
You're like, is that supposed to be like a funny thing? Like,
and I think that's the thing where the line is supposed to start getting blurry because you're supposed to be like, oh, they're just spitballing the idea of cooing over a country.
Right. Several countries.
And then you cut to Jason Schwartzman in a war room situation talking to people in Argentina, being like, all right, who are my coup coordinators over here?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is funny. Like, there's funny stuff happening.
Is it supposed to be Dr. Strangelove, or is it supposed to be... I think another film that kind of fell this way was, did you see Don't Look Up?
I think...
Which was Adam McKay,
No,
Leonardo DiCaprio, and Jennifer Lawrence.
No.
That kind of failed in the same way.
I think my dad hated it.
Right, where it's just like the satire didn't hit properly. But where this takes a turn, and when you, I'm gathering, think it looks good. So Rami Youssef's character, he has an AI or an algorithm that can detect AI. So Corey Michael Smith's Facebook is, you know, destroying the world to the point where the president's calling and be like, hey, you have to shut this shit down because people can't tell what's real and what's fake. And then he's like, well, if I just buy his AI, if he'll sell me his AI, then, you know, everything will be fine. Rami Youssef doesn't want to sell the AI. Steve Carell eventually tells him, he's like, or tells the other two, we should just kill him.
Well, it starts getting good to me when Steve Carell's working out downstairs. Steve Carell's old, and he has the information that he has cancer.
Yeah.
Right? He's going to die, and he doesn't want to die.
None of them do. That's what drives all of these people.
Jeff is talking to him about the future and being like, you're not going to be here one day. And that's when the veneer of the stoic intelligentsia starts to peel a little bit.
Yeah, that kind of mentor where you're like, I'm above everything else, everything like that. Then he's just a scared man.
The moment the movie changes to being good is when Steve Carell is walking up the stairs and he's trying to go into the den that they talked about, and he runs into the glass door, just face first, and he lands on the ground.
Great shot.
He picks himself up, and he walks further up the stairs, and he goes, I think we need to kill Jeff.
Right.
I was like, that's funny. That's the funniest thing that I've seen. He's like, he wants to kill Jeff just because he's mad at Jeff, and he hates him.
Right.
And he's like, but
and he's facing his own mortality.
Yeah, and he's like, and I can spin this so that I can get what I want, which I believe that I can upload my consciousness to the computer so that I will live forever, and Jeff will be dead, and that will make me happy. And then that's when shit just gets crazy, and that's when stuff's happening, and that's very fun.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right about watching the veneer fall off, because that is something we've seen with these tech people more and more. I mean, you can see it now with like Elon Musk, now that he's not in the government, being like, well, this is a bad idea. And it's like, well, then where were you this whole time, man? Like, we've been saying that.
I wouldn't do this. Yeah. It's lies.
And the only reason they're trying to pass this bill is because you said you could save us $2 trillion. And they're like, great, then we can add $2 trillion.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, oh, well, that's like, what he did is like, if you went to a party and like, don't worry, guys, I have $200 to coupons to Papa John's, so let's order a bunch of pizzas. And then you order the pizzas. You're like, I couldn't find those coupons. They're like, well, we still have to pay for all these pizzas. And then you just leave the party. And just leave everyone else with
I don't think they should eat all those pizzas.
And then just say, whoever was coming up with the idea to get all these pizzas is a real piece of shit. It's like, God damn it was you the whole time. But that veneer falling off is a great scene with...
Steve Carell is the standout to me in this movie.
He's so fucking good in everything.
Because at the beginning, he's an annoying person, and I'm like, I don't want him to play serious anymore. I think he should clown. He should be... He's a funny person. I want to see him do funny stuff. When he hits his face onto the glass, that's when he starts being a little bit more of a zany character. When they're trying to shove gasoline underneath the door into the sauna that Jeff locked himself in while they were trying to kill him. He's using his hands to push it under. Like, don't use your hands.
And they're just such worthless people. And like, they can't do anything.
Jeff's pushing it back, and Steve's doing that voice thing. Like, no, don't do that. Stop it. Yeah. Stop it, Jeff. Yeah. And I'm like, this is great. Like,
he goes full Michael Scott at that point, and it's fantastic.
He's doing a silly thing, and it's like, this is more fun. This should have been the tone of the whole movie.
Right.
Or at the very least, the tone should have shifted so that way I was invested at the beginning.
I definitely think there's a movie taking that like Companion where they like just get right to it. The whole point of this movie is we've invited this guy here to kill him, as opposed to it being like a turn. An hour and a half
we found it out much faster. I compared it to Companion in my head too.
Yeah,
where I was like, the call to action happened pretty fast and out of nowhere, and that was very good.
Yeah,
and if this movie did that, it would be almost a 3 probably.
I think the 4 leads are great. I like Jason Schwartzman being full on Jason Schwartzman, just being like the sad guy, and he's got this stupid meditation app that he's always trying to push on people.
There wasn't a bad apple in the bunch.
No.
Everybody was doing a great job. It was just, I didn't care about anybody.
The tone was off.
Yeah, the tone was so off that I was mad until it changed around, and then I was like, this is very funny.
You're absolutely right. Once it got its legs underneath it, then it knew what it was doing.
I look at the reviews of this, and it's not getting good reviews, and I absolutely understand it. But it's like, I would have hated this movie if I didn't stick to it,
Yeah.
And it's asking a lot of somebody to be like, sit in for an hour for the half-hour payoff at the end, But I will say that payoff is pretty good. What is this?
Something that just came across my desk on X.
What? That's stupid.
Yeah, it is dumb.
We don't want to bring it up?
No. But it pops up what we were literally just talking about.
It'll be
it'll be in the news. Look on X.
Yeah.
Who do you think said a dumb thing on X? They did it at 3:10 on Thursday, June 5th. Jake and I just read that, and this is just what we're fucking talking about.
This is
These
insane.
people don't know what they're doing. They're good at kind of one thing.
They're not good at anything.
No,
that's the thing.
that thing is capitalism,
They can't
which isn't.
boil an egg.
Yeah,
They are just the
That's perfect example.
successors of
Steve Carell says
capitalism.
and that's not an expression Jake is doing. In this movie, Steve Carell's like, I'm going to make an egg. And he turns on a pan with an egg in it that has no water in it.
Yeah.
So, like, they're just idiot. Maybe I like this movie more than I think. It's a firm 2.
It's a 2.
You talked me around to it. I was
Because-
soft 2. It's a firm 2.
Knowing the tone of it, it changes what the movie is.
Could have been better.
It could have been better.
Yeah.
Well, because I thought going into it, it was going to be an NPR type thing where it's very snooty and like, aren't we so smart to know that tech people are terrible?
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you, we all know that. It's
Right.
just, so what? And then I read reviews of it before it came out. They're like, it's like Peep Show. And I was like, I don't know what that means. That sounds like it's silly.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. And then we watched it, and then I finally got it. And I was like, this is a movie that's doesn't get to an interesting point until an hour in.
That's fair.
And that interesting point is a revelation.
Mm-hmm.
It was so like when I was younger, I watched Cabin Fever when it came out. I don't know if you know that horror movie.
Eli Roth.
Yes.
Skin peeling off.
Yes.
That's all I know about it.
So I watched it the first time and I hated it. I was like, this is the dumbest movie I've ever seen. I told my uncle because he watched it just recently too. And I was like, I thought that was the dumbest movie I ever saw. I was like, it was not scary. He's like, it's not supposed to be scary. It's a comedy. I was like, oh, it's a comedy? He's like, yeah, it's a comedy. So I watched it again. I was like, this is the funniest movie. This is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's when you get what it's going for, it changes the whole damn thing.
Just like Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was just, I think that it's asking too much being so long
Yeah.
before anything of interest or of any meat
I
happens.
think, yeah, just going off what you said, one of the frustrating things about it is by the end you could see what this was going for, and it's like, you just missed it.
Yeah. If I watched it again, I would be like, this part is funnier.
Yeah.
Like, because, talking about the egg thing, they try and go get water, and they couldn't get the water on.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jason Schwartzman was like, they cut off my water. And they're like, who?
Yeah.
They're already like conspiratorizing what's happening around them. And I was like, that's funnier now.
Yeah.
That's funny to me.
Yeah.
So, but it's a 2.
It's a 2.
If Jesse Armstrong does another movie, I'd probably watch it. That's what I would say.
If this was this was like a limited series, I think,
Maybe.
where you follow these characters for 8 episodes, like a
was
season of Succession, because Succession was fucking fantastic.
I would watch a Mountainhead too. If they made a sequel,
Call it Beachhead,
call it
because they're at a beach.
Beach balls.
Beach
'Cause
balls.
You got your head's in the mountain.
Yeah.
That means the beach is your balls. Beach balls.
Beach would be your feet. Beach
no,
toes.
no,
Sandy toes.
no. The Arctic is
Great
your
Plains
feet.
would be your balls,
No, the Arctic is your feet.
because it's just the same as your head.
No, because it's lower than sand. Ocean feet.
Ocean toes.
Ocean toes.
I think that's a Jack Johnson album. Sounds like it could be.
We're doing great, man. We made Mountainhead sequels and a Jack Johnson album.
Jesse Armstrong, call us.
Yeah.
We'll write Ocean Toes for you.
If they do beach balls, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
You know,
Beach
because
balls.
I'm interested in these guys. I'm interested in these characters.
Yeah.
And now that I get the tone, I'm interested in what they can do with this.
Yeah, it's a lot like the first Succession's a lot like The Wire, because like The Wire, you really need to power through 3 episodes before you realize that it's one of the greatest shows ever made.
Yeah.
It doesn't hook you right from the beginning. But Succession's like that too. If you power through the first 3 episodes, you're like, oh, I get these people are fucking terrible, and I want to watch everything they do.
I think that's what it was. Is like one of the big things for Big Short. Why I didn't like it was like all of these people were terrible, but I'm supposed to have sympathy for them, and I'd never felt that from this movie.
Right.
They're like all these people are terrible,
and they're the
period.
fucking worst.
Yeah.
And they're turning on each other.
Yeah.
And then at the end when like Rami Youssef and
very funny.
No, just like when they get back together, like, oh yeah, well fuck that guy, we're best friends again. It's like, oh, you're all soulless.
Yeah,
like the one person that you were supposed to kind of feel bad for. They're trying to kill this guy
in a sauna. They were going to burn him alive.
Yeah.
But they kept him in there while they renegotiated a contract.
And
with
they had
him
the
to sell his
lawyers
company.
show up at the house and draw it up.
Yeah.
It was all very silly.
Then they leave, and he's like, "Hey, like, no hard feelings about that." And they're like, "Oh no, I'm fucking coming for you." And he's like, "That's what's making this exciting." He's like, "Yeah, I'm a little excited about it."
It's so bad.
And I was like, "That's funny."
Mm-hmm.
So
you'd like Succession.
I probably would, but it's. It was nice that they didn't sugarcoat who these people were.
Yeah.
They did it a little bit with Jeff, Rami's character,
Yeah.
but they really let you know that.
Yeah, there were no
awful.
lingering thoughts at the end that he might have been a good guy. Because he was kind of sympathetic. Because the whole thing, he was
yeah.
worried about his girlfriend going to a sex
He is
party
the
in
most
Mexico.
sympathetic person, but he also stalks his girlfriend while she's not around him.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're like, I get where he's coming from, but that's the worst part of me.
Yeah.
That gets where he's coming from.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, it's a 2. It's on Max. Watch it.
Watch it. Literally.
It's good.
Well, I mean, if you're going to watch it, watch the whole thing is what I'll say.
Definitely.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Jake's recommendation for me, stand-up comedy special from Brent Weinbach.
Yes, sir.
It is available on his YouTube. Let's check out his numbers. How's he doing?
451K?
2 weeks, 72K. Not bad.
Oh.
Not bad for a self-produced
Bigger.
special.
He needs more. He need more.
Seriously. I made a dumb video about Landman that's got double this.
He needs more. He deserves more.
For sure. So Brent Weinbach. Jake, how did this come across your desk? Because I will say this. It's a very Jake Baggett stand-up special.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
What we talked about last week where you said you wanted more comedy. When I saw this, I'm like, oh, this is Jake and a half.
Yeah.
From Jump Street, this is such a Jake Baggett stand-up
it's amazing how well this was made for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at work. I watch a lot of YouTube. One of the YouTubers I watch is Game Grumps.
Mm-hmm.
They have a thing called Guest Grumps, and Brent was their guest on there.
Yeah.
And he was fine. Like, he was nice to listen to. But after that, they talked about a special. They dropped it and stuff. It just showed up in my algorithm one time while I was just sitting here. I was like, I'll just watch it, put it on. If it's not good in 30 minutes, I'll turn it off. But then watch the whole damn thing. And I was like, he is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was while I'm in my stand-up kick from last week. I was like, let's do some more stand-up. Why not? And
Absolutely.
I showed you that one.
So, yeah, he this for me gets a soft 3.
Okay.
Because it was funny, made me laugh, was definitely your type of comedy to me. The person I would describe it most closely related to would probably, you know Rory Scovel?
Yeah.
Very Rory Scovel.
A little bit.
Esque.
If you watch some of Tim Heidecker's stand-up.
Mm-hmm. That absurdist comedy bang bang side of comedy.
Where he's just, Brent is such a wild character. It's very funny, the stuff that he decides.
So he opens up the first 5 minutes doing a voice.
Yeah, doing a Hispanic
It's like it's like a Latino Cholo LA gangster voice.
Yeah.
He does not look remotely like that.
Yeah.
He's a Nathan Fieldery looking
Yeah.
white guy with graying hair. And he just comes out talking like this and you're just like, okay. And like the crowd is hesitant about it at first, but then he does it for like 5 minutes with like callbacks as that character.
Yeah.
And then just is quiet for a minute and then asks like, so here are some impressions.
Yeah.
And he just moves on.
Yeah.
Does it, and I'm like, okay, that's what after he made the turn from his Latino LA gangster voice to himself, I was like, there's Jake.
Yeah. He did it.
That's Jake's favorite
Exactly.
thing.
He did something very disarming. He did something that's like racist and rude, awkward, and awful.
And kept doing it.
It kept doing it to the
lot.
point where it's absurd as long as it goes. And then he goes, all right, now that's out of the way. Let's get to how stupid my comedy is that you all laugh at it.
And then the other recurring joke he had through it was the impression of a guy who says Rocktober.
Yeah.
and doesn't know that October exists.
Yeah.
And that guy keeps showing back up. So
like,
it was.
How long do you think I got, doctor? He's like, with good time, with proper diet, we can see living through October.
Yes. So things like that. I think more than I enjoyed this, I enjoyed watching it through your lens, where I'm like, I could just picture you sitting on this couch, just giggling like a moron at all these dumb jokes.
This could go all the way through No Nut November for
Just like that. I could tell that you would just be giggling like this. And there was this weird thing when I was like,
oh man,
I was laying in my bed watching it, and I was just like, God damn it, Jake's having a good time watching this.
So good.
Just giggling. And it made me want to go find more recommendations for you.
Yeah.
To be like just things that are silly. And I was just like, God damn it, Jake's having a good time.
Because he does the, this is Elvis as a therapist.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's like, so why don't you just tell me? He gets audience participation. He's like, just tell me that,
you're having a hard relationship with your dad.
Yeah. That's our time. Thank you very much.
So dumb. So dumb.
It's so
but I love
funny.
Dumb comedy.
Yeah. I was blown away that he could set him up and knock him down really well. Like you said, he does callbacks really well. One of my favorites is he starts getting the audience to call him sir.
Yeah.
When he asks for participation. He's like, excuse me, what? He's like, yes, sir. Like, that's better. When you address me, I expect you to call me sir.
The level of commitment to the material. Like, it's commitment to individual bits, but just having the command and the presence to sit up there for an hour and just be like, I'm going to do my silly things. And he doesn't break character.
No.
At all.
I think that's the importance of his character at the beginning that he does.
Right.
Is that his dedication to
this
the bit.
This is how silly it's going to get. It's
the most important. He's so dedicated to the bit.
Right.
That's what makes it so funny every time.
He's not trying to be like relatable. Oh, this is me. This is my life. And I love that kind of very personal, very storytellery sense of humor. Last year, one of my favorite specials was Nikki Glazer had a stand-up special that was called Someday You'll Die.
Oh, yeah?
And it was just very personal. And like what she's going through. Mike Birbiglia, he had his new one, The Good Life, which was about his dad having a stroke. And I love that kind of stuff. But I also love comedians that are like, I'm going to be up here and I'm going to be a clown.
Yeah.
And you're going to laugh. It's on the other end of the spectrum of one of my other favorite comics, Anthony Jeselnik, who is just a very profane, black comedy kind of guy. He never breaks that character either.
He's a true comedian. He
Weinbach's in that same thing. Like
he loves
Jeselnik and things like that, where it's just like, this is my character. This is who I'm going to be. I'm clearly putting on all of the airs to make you laugh. Like he's a performer for the sake of the joke, not trying to be famous himself.
The fucking gall of somebody to be like, give me two celebrities and I will do an impression right in between those two celebrities.
He does 5 minutes where he's like, here's Michael Jackson, and he slips fucking into his songs.
Yeah.
He's like, give me a Michael Jackson song. It's like Billie Jean, fucking not my love. That's the whole bit. Yeah. And it keeps going. He did every Michael Jackson song I know.
Many Michael Jackson songs.
And the impetus of that is just, if you take a paper straw wrapper and wrap it around your fingers, you can kind of make like a little Michael Jackson
impression.
Thing. That's 5 minutes.
Doing that. But
and it was crushing. It's one of those waves that you ride where he first does it and you're like, this is funny.
Yeah.
And then he does it some more and you're like, this is the dumbest fucking thing.
Yep.
And then he nails the third time or the second wave where you're just like, this is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like
it's,
professional shit that way.
That was a rule that I read a long time ago, the rule of threes, right? Where it's like, after third time it's boring now.
Right.
And then the next step of the rule is by the 30th time, it's hilarious again.
Right.
Yeah. It's like by the 20th time, I want to kill you. By the 30th time, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
For him, it's the 3 times are, this is funny.
Yeah.
This is stupid. This is genius.
Yeah. And it's...
But he did 15 Michael Jackson songs.
So much
to the point where everyone was calling out, do Thriller. And he's like, no, I'm not going to. And he's like, yo, you want me to do Thriller? Fine, I'll do Thriller. And you're like, fucking finally. Then he has this weird behind the music made up story about how Michael Jackson came up with the song Thriller. I'm just like, this is the most absurd, right up Jake Baggett's alley style comedy I've ever seen in my life.
It's amazing.
I'm very happy you found it.
Me too.
Like I said, it's a 3 because it's not super duper my favorite type of comedy. So it's a low 3. But I'm happy that I watched it just because I'm like, Jake's having fun.
I appreciate you, buddy.
Jake's having fun getting out there in the
if
world.
he comes to DC, we're going to see him. Big
Oh,
guy.
for sure, man. I'll definitely see him.
Because that stuff was, He has this thing where Hanukkah songs, if you sing them a tone up, they're Christmas songs.
Right. And then he sings Christmas songs in a minor key.
Yeah.
Are Hanukkah songs.
Yeah.
Just jingle bells just in a minor key. It's fucking funny.
Yeah.
He sings the whole song.
Yeah. That's the brilliance of it.
With the piano, so it's a little like early Zach Galifianakis style stuff.
He's really good at the piano.
Yes, it's just that good alt comedy that is kind of, gone out of fashion, but it's still it's fucking great.
It's just as great.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So yeah, that's Brent Weinbach. The special's called Popular Culture. It is on his YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out. Like and comment on ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. So, thank you everybody for listening to the show. Thank you to our buddies, Brother Bill, for letting us use their music for the theme song. Let's figure out what we're going if you want to get in contact with the show, you can do that upyouralleypod@gmail.com.
Nice.
Let's find out what we're going to be talking about next week. Jake, what you got?
I've been sitting on this one.
Is it your couch? Is that what you're recommending?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Nice.
That's a great joke.
3 stars.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
Cool. Physical Media Jake.
It's a movie from a director named Piotr Shulkin.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I don't like where this is going.
This is called the Apocalypse Tetralogy.
Is it 4 movies?
I only want you to watch 1. You can watch more if you want.
Is it Apocalypse Now?
I've only seen 3. It's funny you say that.
Is it
it's
Apocalypse
actually
Later?
called The War of the Worlds, the next century.
Huh.
It is his idea of what the sequel to War of the Worlds would be.
So just like us when we came up with Ocean Toes, or whatever the fuck we called it.
Very, very much so.
I'm watching Piotr Shulkin's Ocean Toes.
Ocean Toes.
Oba, End of Civilization, Gaga, Glory of Heroes.
I watched...
This is a 1981 movie. The Martians have landed, and they're not to be feared. At least that's what... What the fuck is this?
So, this is a movie that when I watched it, I was shocked that it's not spoken about more in cinema culture. It is a amazing film. It was poignant to this day type of movie.
So it's a direct sequel to H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds.
Yes.
Where the Martians die
100 years later.
Well, the Martians all die at the end of that.
100 years later.
All right.
Yeah.
I am weirdly...
Things happen
excited?
100 years after a story, buddy.
I understand that things happen after other things.
And now you're going to watch a movie about it.
All right. I'm back on my documentary shit for you.
All right.
I watched... This is a 2-part documentary. It's available on Max. I watched the first part, and I'm like, this is going to make Jake happy after I made him watch Mountainhead.
Oh.
2-part documentary about Paul Rubens.
Yes.
Pee-wee as himself is the name of the documentary. Both parts are out now on Max.
Beautiful.
It came out last week.
Beautiful.
So I'm like, oh, yeah. Jake, we could talk about some Pee-wee Herman.
He is
Well, Jake's on his silly...
one of my favorites.
I'm well aware. That's why I'm making you watch this documentary.
Great.
Because he's one of those people that Pee-wee, for me, I was too young for Pee-wee's Playhouse, really.
Yeah.
And by the time I knew who Paul Rubens was, it was just the Scandals thing.
Right.
Because that happened like down where I used to live in Florida.
Sure.
I think it happened in Sarasota. So that's kind of all I knew him as, was a kind of a disgraced person.
Right.
And
the
then,
poor guy.
Exactly. So this documentary kind of, it's like, oh, so it's more, he's more than just that.
What I always believed was he was caught at a theater of a Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen movie.
No, it was an adult theater.
It was an adult theater.
In Sarasota, right off US 41.
That's where
That's where you're supposed
blew
to.
my mind.
Yeah.
You could do that there.
A lot of people blowing things in there.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey.
Hey now.
Hey now. So yeah, it goes into that. So it's a great documentary about the man.
Poor guy. What a wonderful guy, though.
He was also in Gotham.
Yeah?
He played Penguin's parents.
That's beautiful.
Well, not his parents, his dad. He played Penguin's dad.
Oh, he could double bill. He
Yeah.
could have done the mother just as easy, I'm sure.
Yeah. What else was he in recently that I watched? Oh, he's in Blacklist. He's fucking great.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So yeah, Pee-wee as himself. That's available on Max. I'm gonna watch. I don't know where the fuck you guys are gonna watch this, but I'm gonna watch.
It's you could buy it from
Don't buy it until I tell you if it's worth buying.
It's worth buying. You buy 4 movies. I've seen 3 of these 4 movies. Gollum,
Which one haven't you seen?
The very last one.
Gaga, Glory to the Heroes.
Yeah, I haven't seen Gaga.
That's a Lady Gaga album.
I've seen Obi Oba.
End of Civilization.
Culture.
Is this in Polish?
Yes.
God damn.
Majority vote is Obi Oba as the best movie in the tetralogy.
Uh-huh.
For my money, I would say War of the Worlds is the best one.
Huh.
That movie, you're going to watch it, and you're going to be like, how can it be so relatable now,
All right.
almost 40 years later?
I'll trust your judgment, man. I guess we'll do that. All right, Jake. Thanks for having me over. Love you, buddy.
I love you, buddy.
Bye.